So we've got some updates on some big Nintendo Switch 2 games, with one game making the Switch 2 much more attractive, and the ongoing onslaught of marketing with Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. This game is continuing to look incredible, so a lot to get into. But before we continue, we are giving away a Nintendo Switch 2 at 140,000 subscribers, or on September 1st, whichever comes first. Subscribe, like, comment. The winner will be chosen at random, and it's a worldwide giveaway. Thanks, peeps. Let's start off with the game that's going to make the Nintendo Switch 2 far more attractive, and that is literally, and of course figuratively, with Stellar Blade. This game recently got rated on the Nintendo Switch 2, and it looks like it is locked in for 2026. We just have to wait for the official announcement. And the reason why this is all being brought up is because of this ESRB rating. Now, for those who don't know, usually when a game is complete, that means all of the content is in there, everything that's going to be locked in for the port of the game, and it's done, nothing else being added in. They submit that into the ratings board in various different countries. Now, they all kind of have different ways they leak out or when they're posted, but this one is from ESRB, so that means the game is complete. They're just waiting for the other stuff. They're just waiting for potentially marketing, or maybe even a Nintendo Direct, or some type of Twitter post, or whatever the companies are planning to do for the release date reveal of this game, whether it's via the YouTube trailers or putting that together. So it's all shaping up quite nicely for Stellar Blade on the Nintendo Switch 2. I did play this game back in 2024 at launch on the PlayStation 5, and it's a good game. Now, I do want to go over the ESRB rating from Shift Up Corporation. Stellar Blade is rated M for mature, 17 plus by the ESRB, with blood and gore, language, suggestive themes, and violence. This is an action-adventure RPG in which players assume the role of a super soldier battling an invading alien force. From a third-person perspective, players explore apocalyptic environments and complete mission objectives while battling enemies, for example, alien creatures and humanoids. In melee-style combat, players use blades, machine guns, and laser blasters to kill enemies. Battles are fast-paced, highlighted by sword slashes, large explosions, and realistic gunfire. Blood spatter effects occur frequently as enemy creatures are slashed and dismembered. Some cutscenes and battle sequences depict close-up images of impalement, dismemberment, and decapitation. The game depicts some female characters in revealing costumes, for example, deep cleavage, skin-tight flesh, toned bodysuits, with breasts that jiggle during combat. Now, I would say after playing the game on my PlayStation 5 for, I think I played it for like 30 hours plus, that is an accurate description of Stellar Blade. So the ESRB definitely has that right. But if you don't know about Stellar Blade, it's actually a really good action-adventure RPG. There is all of that stuff in there. It's really kind of like a unique blend of games. It's a little bit like Nier Automata or like Bayonetta, but not quite in those ways. It's a little bit like Sekiro or like a Souls game, but not completely in those type of ways. It's a little bit like God of War in some ways, old school and newer God of War, but not exactly like those games. It just seems like it's just a big mix of various different games that I've played over the years, and they just put it into a game. Like, it has an interesting story. Like, I don't think the story's bad. It's not like my favorite story or anything, but I do think it's an interesting story. The gameplay is fun. Some of the levels can get derivative and maybe repetitious at times, but I do think that overall it's a very fun game and absolutely going to be worth it on Switch 2. Based off the debut trailer for the game and what we've seen via YouTube, it does seem like Shift Up has this game running at 60 FPS, so there might be some type of performance mode for the Nintendo Switch 2. When it first launched on PlayStation 5, I think there was like a quality and a performance mode, and now on PS5 Pro, there's multiple different modes. It seems fairly optimized depending on what platform it's on, whether it's PC, what rig you have there, Steam Deck, handheld PCs, PlayStation 5 base. So I do think that the Switch 2 version, just based off that information that we have and how Shift Up has done a pretty good job with optimization across different platforms, I think the Switch 2 version should be good, because it did look solid in that first initial debut trailer that we got, and everything just looks fluid from the game in general. We'll see what happens there. I know Shift Up was pretty excited about a year or so back to get their Nintendo Switch 2 units. the company actually gifted all of the employees that. And I don't think it was just out of the kindness of their heart. It was also to understand the system, because porting work was underway on making sure that they can get Stellar Blade over on the platform before it even comes over to the Xbox system. So that kind of tells you where a lot of the Asian and Japanese developers are kind of moving towards, with even big AAA titles or big titles like a Stellar Blade. So I'm looking forward to playing it. I think it's going to be great on the Nintendo Switch 2. So let's go ahead and jump into the next topic here, and that is more Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave goodness. I am really enjoying Nintendo coming out and talking about this game more with the voice actors, so it's pretty cool. We finally got Letta's voice actor, and she had a statement on Twitter about this, plus we've got some English gameplay and new gameplay footage with more characters being detailed. So on Twitter, Katiana Sarkeesian is the voice actor for Letta, and she says that it is an honor of my lifetime to be the voice of Letta in Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. She is such a genuine, passionate, and all too familiar character. I love her strengths and flaws and hope from the bottom of my heart that you resonate with her story the way I do. She also went on to thank the companies that she works with, Nintendo of America, and everything, and how she's been a fan since Fire Emblem Awakening when she played it all those years ago, and this is just a dream come true for her. So just like we've talked about with the other voice actors that have talked about this, they're all fans of the series. So I think that when you're a fan of something, you can instantly get even just more excited and kind of get more in tune for the role. You know the vibe, you know the style, you know what the game is about, so you put that effort into what you're doing. Now, of course, voice actors can be very adaptable and can learn things quickly when it comes to certain stuff, but I think it's just natural to know, like, if you've been playing Fire Emblem for a decade, you're going to know in your auditions, or you're going to know in your previews what they're looking for, especially if you've played Fire Emblem Three Houses. So I'm almost positive all of the people here definitely went back when they knew that they had an opportunity to audition for the role. They went back and probably played it and saw what they were looking for when it comes to characters and where they could be a part of this. So shout outs to everybody, the main four that got the roles in Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, and I cannot wait to play the game myself. We also have some gameplay footage in English here of Katiana in action, so let's go ahead and take a listen to that.
You wanna get hurt? Oh, what a shame.
And like I've stated many times before, the gameplay so much smoother, so much more vibrant, so much nicer than what we got in Fire Emblem Engage, in addition to Fire Emblem Three Houses. Definitely a big improvement over Three Houses from a visual and performance standpoint. So Nintendo is cooking on this one, along with, of course, Intelligent Systems and probably Koei Tecmo here. We should probably get a massive Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave Direct. I think they're probably going to do that sometime in August. If not August, it'll be September, but I think that they're going to go over a lot more with this game. They're kind of priming up and getting ready. There's no big first-party game releases in August, but there's a bunch of third-party games being released, from Final Fantasy XIV to Lies of P, Metal Gear Solid 4, and more. Nintendo kind of packed in a lot of their first-party releases in July with 3 different games, from Rhythm Heaven Groove to Splatoon Raiders, which is this week as of the time that I'm recording this video, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Nintendo Switch 2 edition. So they had 3 games all packed in there. They wanted to give August third-party stuff and probably to really start promoting Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. Plus you have the Dust Bloods. That network test is in August, but no release for that just yet. So it's just crazy. Too many games to play, not enough time. You got to really prioritize where you want to go with your games, but I'm very excited for Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. I think it's going to be a ton of fun. Now, we do have more updates because Talia's profile has been added to the Nintendo Today app. We've got some more details on her and gameplay. So Stealth put this out on Twitter. We have the voice actor for Talia. This is Kai's right-hand lady that travels with him and is a childhood friend. and Nintendo confirmed that Talia is voiced by Madeline Morris in Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. She worked on a lot of anime, but this is only her second video game role, so it's nice for her to get some more experience in video games. But if you've done anime, you can do video games. Like, I don't think there's a big difference between the two. I mean, obviously there's probably technical things and different stuff, but a video game, and especially a game like more like Fire Emblem is very anime-ish when it comes to some of the stuff, so I'm pretty sure it was a very easy transition for her to get into her role. We also have more details on Talia, and it says that Talia's Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave description from Nintendo: overview, a tactical genius whose skillful strategizing lets her put allies' abilities to good use, likes libraries, gossiping about love, alone time, her grandfather, interests, reading, and playing board games. So awesome there. Talia is definitely going to be more of the stricter, stern personality type, as we know, compared to some of her other companions. And yeah, just the more that I see about this game, the more excited I get about it, the more I want to just get the game at this point. It's September 17th, and that is an interesting day because there's another massive RPG that comes out that day, and that is Trails in the Sky second chapter. And both of these games could be high 80s or 90 plus rated games from what I've heard about Trails in the Sky second chapter. It's even better than the first game. The first game was already a high 80s type of game, borderline 90 when it comes to the reviews. So that is exciting to get both of these games, high quality RPGs, on the same day. I mean, it's not exciting for my Nintendo Switch 2 because I can only play one game at a time, and I'm going to prioritize Fire Emblem, but I'll be right there. I'm going to be purchasing the Trails in the Sky second chapter day one. It's got a real physical cart on the Nintendo Switch 2, and I think that they won't have those growing pains when they're trying to kind of get the Switch 2 dev kit and get the game ported over in time, in addition to finishing the game when it comes to the other versions. I think that the Switch 2 version this time is going to be already good and ready to go off of the cart, and if anything, a small day one update. But everything should be good this time around, with Falcom getting more experience and another year on the Nintendo Switch 2. So between these two games, super exciting to be an RPG fan, really exciting to be a Nintendo fan at this point. There's been a lot of destruction in the gaming industry, but it seems like good news and cool games just continue to be consistent when it comes to Switch 2, but you never know what's going to happen in the future. I'm just going to enjoy what we have right now at this point and enjoy the games and cover them and just have fun. So what do you think when it comes to Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, and when it comes to what's happening here with Stellar Blade on the Nintendo Switch 2? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, peeps, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch 2 Fire Emblem videos and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.